Over the weekend, we had talks with the Iranians. We meaning the 6 powers that are there, including the European powers, Russia, the United States, and it actually went fairly well. Our lead negotiator for the chief foreign policy official for the European Union, but the spokesman for the 6 powers at the table is Lady Catherine Ashton. She said it was constructive and useful, and that we had a positive feeling, and that Iran actually seemed to have set a tone where we can get some conciliation. So now that they've set the kind of the guidelines and the rules, they're going to meet again 6 weeks from now. This one was in Turkey. The next one will be in Iraq on basically neutral territory. I love how we gave Iraq freedom, and now they're really good buddies with Iran. But I digress. So when the lead negotiator for the Iranians, Saeed Jalili, gave his press conference, you know the banner he had above him, what it said? Nuclear energy for all, nuclear weapons for none. Now, wait a minute. I thought the Iranians were super dangerous because they were going to make a nuclear weapon. That was their intent. Now, look, I know. You can say, hey, you know what? Maybe they're just saying that. That's just a ruse while they build their nuclear weapons. I'm not naive. Is that a possibility? Of course it's a possibility. But they stated that they don't want nuclear weapons. Now, you never hear that on U.S. television anyway. They don't even report that. But the second layer of this is what's really interesting. Did you know that the Grand Ayatollah Khamenei, or Khamenei, depending on how you pronounce it, has declared that possessing nuclear weapons is a sin, and he has issued a fatwa against it? Now, you don't know that, right? Because it is never reported in the American media. Now, this is a story in the McClatchy newspaper. God bless them. Obviously, some people covered it. I found it somewhere. When I say you don't hear it in the media, I mean television. You turn on CNN, anywhere else, you see if you heard about the Grand Ayatollah's fatwa against nuclear weapons. Now, if you say, hey, maybe they didn't report it because they're skeptical, let me ask you this counter question. If the Grand Ayatollah had done the exact opposite fatwa and said, we must have nuclear weapons, how many of the news outlets on television do you think would have covered it? My guess is 100%. They would say, oh my God, the Grand Ayatollah does a fatwa that Iran's going to get nuclear weapons. They're coming, nuclear weapons. But wait a minute, I thought you didn't trust the Grand Ayatollah. If he says they're going to get nukes, you're going to report that like crazy. If he says we don't want nukes, it's a sin against Allah to have nuclear weapons, nothing. This is how propaganda works. Noam Chomsky has written extensively on it, and this is exactly what he's talking about. There's some people in America who are very powerful who want war with Iran. And there's a variety of people. The oil speculators want it, neocons want it, et cetera. The defense industry wants it, and they have done a brilliant job of capturing the media. And so if there's anything that is against Iran, it will be reported to the hilt here in the American media. If Iran says, hey, there's a fatwa against nuclear weapons. Goddamn Iranians are dangerous. We already told you that. Okay, now you tell me if you trust the American media, okay? These are facts. You can look them up for yourself. Good. And by the way, don't just trust me. Turn on your television tonight. See if anybody reports the fatwa that the top religious leader in Iran has said that under no circumstances should Iran have nuclear weapons. It would be a sin against God. Good luck to you trying to find that anywhere but the Young Turks.